So this is essentially the welcome to the cohort, which is this cohort is designed for entrepreneurs to set up a direct-to-consumer brand, essentially an online website e-commerce business. And that's what this is all about. And I know you asked me some questions about that, so I just want to make that clear for people who are not here, who are watching this replay, that this is for you to set up your own direct-to-consumer brand. So if you don't know what that really means, it's essentially a brand that goes, directly to the consumer, bypasses the retail, the distributor model. So think of streetwear. Think of the guys that are hustling out of their, their car. They have some hoodies. They have some T-shirts. They're selling them. And they're, selling them directly to the consumer. So direct to the consumer is you bypass the middleman. That's essentially what it means. The way that direct to consumer is done now is using an online website. So you have to have an online e-commerce website. That is one of the major requirements of setting up a direct to consumer brand. And so this whole cohort, which is 6 sessions, this is actually session 1, is designed to set up this online e-commerce website and create your direct-to-consumer brand and launch it. And that's what we're going to be doing.
Excellent.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to get into the introductions and the check-in question. This is something that we do in other meetings that I'm in. We always check in, we share our name, a little bit about who we are and how we're feeling today, or there's a check-in question, like, somebody might ask, well, what are you doing this weekend? Or are you going to the game? Or, something like that. So How do you feel today?
I feel great. I feel excited, very relieved that I'm going to have more control and power over over the website medium where I can do things myself. I was kind of anxious because I know that for fee for service, every moment that you're working with someone, you're on a clock and it's, cha-ching, cha-ching. So for me to be able to do my own stuff, it's just, I'm over the moon about it because I felt helpless and like there was nothing I could do personally for my own website.
Right. And this is
that's not true.
Ranaté C and I am Danté Hamilton. We didn't introduce ourselves, but that's okay.
Yes.
We know each other already, guys. So.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. And I make hand blended shea butter products, all natural products from shea butter. That's what I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a startup.
Great. All right, so let me go quickly ahead to my background. Here's my story. Some of this may look familiar to you already. Ranaté, you've already seen this. So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I grew up in Garden Valley Estates, which is a public housing project in Cleveland, form of public housing. They now have, I think, torn it down and built heritage homes or something like that. But it was a Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority public housing project. That's important to this discussion. I grew up in East Technical High School. I went to school at East Technical High School where I started my own business in high school in 1977. So I did calligraphy, commercial art, graphic design, commercial print brokering. Now I am with my own business, Internet Webpages newspaper. Started that back in 1998 here in Chicago, where I've been since 1990. So I've been here 32 years. It's my home. And my business is owned by me, 100% Black owned. I own 100% of the business, a certified DBE, MBE, Section 3 business. I established in 1998, still doing graphic and web. Now I do web design. I'm still brokering, printing, and I also do publishing consulting. So now I know people that are watching this are probably wondering, have you set up a direct-to-consumer brand? What is your credentials? Why are you teaching us this class? So there is a project that I'm working with the National Public Housing Museum, and I was the chief architect behind this project. There's 6 of us involved in this project, so I'm not the only one behind this. There's 6 of us, and I am on the store operations team, and this is called cornerstorecoop.com. So you go to this website. It was set up almost a year ago, and it's live. We're selling products off of it. The National Public Housing Museum is a museum of public housing that is being built here in Chicago. It'll open in the fall of 2023. The building is already there. They're redoing it. I won't get into the whole story, but if you want to have a clue about the type of online presence, online store, you could just go to cornerstorecoop.com. Check that out. That'll give you an idea. This is a beta version of the website. It's not the final, because we don't even have our branding yet. And we're using the National Public Housing Museum's logo. But all of that is in the works, and this is a co-op that's going to be owned by 6 people, all people from former public housing, which is why I mentioned that I lived in public housing. That's central to this being involved in this co-op. And then also, we will own the museum co-op store as owners. So it'll be a corner store co-op, and we will be running the museum store inside of the National Public Housing Museum. And again, these are all public housing, former public housing or current public housing residents. And so this is a great opportunity. I just want to make sure that people understand that. So this is a sample website. And let me get back to the requirements for the cohort. So in order for you to be in this cohort, you must have a computer, laptop, Wi-Fi, internet connection. You have to be on a laptop. That's going to give you the best presentation, or computer. You can be on your phone, but you're going to be limited in how we proceed. And then you need a notepad, pen and pencil and paper. I know you got yours, Renata. I see it right there. And you also need to complete the homework. These are 6 sessions, and they're essentially about 5 hours. Essentially, I mean about 5 hours and 15 minutes if you time it out. And so you will need to be doing some homework, and the homework will be set up on a learning management system. I'm not going to go into all of the details of that, but you will get that information in an email in a few days. I'll send you a link where you can join the IWNHaus.com website, where you can log in and you can see the courses and all of that. So now, just so you're clear, the homework in the courses are designed to enhance what we're going to be talking about in the webinar, the live series. And it's a requirement that you complete the homework, but not to complete the homework for a grade or a certificate. You need to complete the homework so you can move ahead in the class and you can move ahead in the actual project. So you'll get more details of that in the email that I will send out inviting you to the learning management system. If anyone is curious, we'll be using learn-.com. If you go to that, learn-.com, we'll be using that plugin. It's a WordPress plugin, allows you to do online courses and training using a WordPress website. So we're going to be using that for this cohort. Now, so I know the big question is, how much does this cost? It's always like a free to premium sale, like, Danté has some type of special cohort. It's like $1,000 after this thing ends. We got to pay you some fee. It's none of that. So this is the complete cohort. Sessions are complimentary. Everything is free. There's no upsell approach. There's no gimmick, nothing. And the only real cost that you have is you got to buy your own domain. I can't pay for that. So you got to purchase a domain name. Even if you have a domain, you still need to buy another one. And that's $12. You could purchase that with a credit card. I recommend, it's optional, I recommend that you get branding. And this will come into play later. I'll tell you about that. I recommend that you get some logo and branding. If you already have your logo and branding, perfect. But if you don't, and you're just starting out, I recommend Logo Tournament at $275. This logo tournament is crowdsourced design, and so you can find these crowdsourced designs services all over the internet. I've used Logo Tournament several times, and I've project managed several successful logo designs for clients that went on to register their logo with the federal government. So I know how to do that, and I would advise you to consider that if you don't have any branding, and you can start out at the lowest rate, which is $275. Now, here is the key. You're going to set up a server and your own hosting. And I know that this sounds complicated, but I'm going to make it so simple for you because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Now, we're going to be setting up a Google Cloud Platform server. And I won't get into all of the technical part, but Google is going to allow you to run this server for 90 days free. They have a 90-day program. It's free. They give you some credits, and you're able to use this for free. At that point, when it's no longer free, you can shut it down. You can move your website to GoDaddy or wherever it is you want to put it at. If you want to stay with Google Cloud Platform, after the 3 months, you'll have a fee that you can project based on your 3 months of usage. You can look at those numbers and say, how much did this cost me? It's probably going to cost you about $20 or $30 a month, somewhere in that range, okay, to run this server. Now, when I say you have a server, that means that you have a server, meaning that you can run multiple websites on this server. So you're essentially a GoDaddy. You're essentially a Shopify type platform. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. Of course, you're only going to have one website, but you can set up 1,000 websites on the same service. Okay? All right. I won't get into all of that. But that's what this whole introduction session is all about. Introduce you to this. And any questions, Renata, so far? I know I'm speaking very fast, but I want to make sure that we don't go over the half-hour mark. No questions, right?
No, I'm good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. So now, session 2 through 6, the outline is the following slide. So let me go past my background. Session 2 is about 1 hour. So here's what we're going to do in session 2. We're going to set up a new Gmail account. All right, even if you have a Gmail account, we're going to set up a new one. That's required. And we're going to set the account up in the domain name. So if your domain is going to be domain.com, and of course that's an example, then you would set up your new Gmail account as domain.com@gmail.com. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So we're going to use this new Gmail account to register your new domain name. All right. And that will also be used for your Google Cloud Platform account. Now, once you set up your domain, you're going to also register multiple social media accounts. And you're going to use that same Gmail account for all related social media. All right. And I know you might be wondering why there's a method to this. I won't get all into detail, but it'll be very clear once we go through the process. All right, so next bullet, you're going to purchase a domain name, and it's going to be 15-character maximum, if possible. I know most people may have an issue with that. They may not be able to, it may be challenging. But if you think about your domain name, you want to try and get it to be 15 maximum characters. And I'll tell you the reason why. Twitter's username is a 15-character maximum. And you want to make sure that your domain name is available on all social media, every single one. So you want to make sure that that Twitter name is available, Instagram name is available, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube. You want to make sure across all major social media that your domain name is not being used as a username, okay, or as a hashtag. All right, you want to make sure that, because you don't want to come out here with a new domain name and it's already a popular hashtag and everybody's using that hashtag, okay? So you want to come out with something that's really, really unique, and we'll go more into that when we get into that part. All right, now, so your cost for your domain name is going to be $12 and above. Most .coms are $12 on Google domains. And you're going to use, of course, the domain.com@gmail.com account to purchase your domain name. This is very important. The rationale behind this is that everybody has 10, 20, 30, 100 Gmail accounts. You have to make sure that when we work on this project that you're logged into the right Gmail account, because if you're not, it's going to cause all kind of problems. I've had people who have registered multiple domains and they could not find what account the domain was in. I've had people frantically say, Danté, I lost my domain. And I'm like, do you know what email account that you registered it in? And they're like, no, I don't know. And so boom, That's the reason why we have the domain.com and gmail.com set up specifically on that Gmail account, because then that way, you know, the domain is the name of the Gmail account. All right. And so that's the rationale behind that. And believe me, you will thank me for this later. Once you get beyond 2 or 3 domains, you'll be thanking me saying, oh, that was brilliant. The only way that I came up with this is because I messed up like everybody else. I used one Gmail account to register multiple domains, and it was a nightmare over time. It was a nightmare. And I probably have, at this point, easily 200 domains, maybe 250. So I'm not bragging, I'm just letting you know I have a lot of Gmail accounts. I have a lot of these set up. All right, so enough about me. Let's get back to the bullet. So we're going to create a Google Cloud Platform, GCP for short. That's going to be used for your new e-commerce website. All right, so that's what we're going to be setting up for your new e-commerce website. It's going to be the Google Cloud Platform that I previously spoke about. All right, now, when you get down to setting up your social media accounts, you're going to use your domain.com at gmail.com for all of those accounts. You're going to run all your Instagram, all your Twitter, your Facebook, all of it's going to run through one Gmail account. Now, I know Facebook might be a little bit trickier, but trust me, we'll figure out all of that stuff. Any questions so far before we go to the next slide? Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so session 3 is going to be about 1 hour. And what we're going to do in session 3 is we're going to configure Google Cloud Platform. Now, this is technical. I don't expect people to know what I'm talking about. You can Google it, you can search it, and you're free to do that. But we're going to install CyberPanel Virtual Machine. And we're going to configure this virtual machine. Now, virtual machine is kind of like the technical name for a server. Most people think a server is a piece of equipment that you put into a rack somewhere in a data center. But you also can run what's called a virtual machine, which is basically a software version of a server. And so that's what we're going to be running. And so then after we have purchased that domain name, we're going to point that domain to the server. And that's how your website is going to be found on the global internet. All right. And then we're going to add a SSL to the server. SSL, Secure Socket Layer. That's what that means. And that means that people will be able to do an encrypted transaction, you know, a safe transaction on your website. That's the data is encrypted through an SSL. That gives you that HTTPS at the top of the screen in the browser. That gives you the little lock. The SSL gives you that. All right. So after we get the configuration of Google Cloud Platform set up, then we're going to install WordPress on the CyberPanel virtual machine. All right. We're going to configure WordPress. We're going to install some plugins, and then we're going to install WooCommerce. WooCommerce is the actual plugin that we're going to use to run your direct-to-consumer brand e-commerce store. Now, a lot of people probably heard of Shopify, BigCommerce, Square, all of these other different e-commerce platforms. Well, setting up what we're talking about here, you become Shopify. Okay, so you are Shopify when you set this up this way. Some people will dispute that, but trust my judgment on this. All right, so we're going to also set up payment processing accounts. And we're going to do that a couple of different ways. First, we're going to install those plugins. Then we're going to set up Stripe processing. We're going to set up PayPal. We're going to set up Square. Now, I believe PayPal and Square limits your processing to about $10,000 in a single transaction. I set up my Stripe account many years ago. It may have changed, but Stripe, when I set it up a long time ago, allowed you to transact $999,999 in a single transaction. So most people are thinking, oh, I'm never going to get that amount. But what if you sell a house online? What if, think out of the box, think out of that box that you might be thinking, oh, I'm only going to get a sale for $100, where you might get almost $1 million sale and you can process it through Stripe. Of course, you're going to pay a big fee for that. But I just want you to know that Stripe and PayPal and Square are the payment processing accounts we're going to be setting up. All of these accounts are free. Okay, and so do I have any questions from you, Renata, on on any of session 3's bullets? Nothing? Okay.
No, I'm good. I think everything I'm wondering, you're going to go over it.
Yes. This is just the intro and the bullets of everything we're going to do. And then I'm going to go hands-on with this with everyone. So session 4, our 4th session, we're going to be setting up our Printful.com account. Printful.com, you can go to Printful.com right now. Check it out. There's nothing secretive about any of what I'm telling you. It's all public. But you can go there now and check it out. Printful.com is a print-on-demand solution. They offer fulfillment, shipping, and you can add these products from Printful for sale on your own website. You can add your own branding to the products, and then you can sell these products as if they're your own brand. And that's how we're going to set up our direct-to-consumer brand. Now, there's a reason why I'm using Printful. Printful integrates seamlessly with WooCommerce. So when you set the Printful.com account up, you can synchronize the products to your WooCommerce so that everything that you add on Printful goes right into your e-commerce platform in WooCommerce. And then when you're on your WooCommerce website and you make a sale, the fulfillment and the shipping is handled through Printful. And you can even have it sent to your customer in your own branding. So Printful offers all those options. Now, I'm not here to promote Printful, but that's how we're going to set up our direct-to-consumer brand. I don't get a commission if you go set up on Printful.com or Google. I don't get paid any kind of way from any of those guys. So just, I'm not doing this to get a fee from you. All right, so we're going to connect our WooCommerce with Printful, and then we're going to import our products from Printful, and then we're going to handle all of our online store shopping cart through WooCommerce. Now, I know that might be a little fuzzy for some people, but trust me, this is how we're going to do it. I've done it before. If you're curious, you can go to cornerstorecoop.com, check out that whole setup. It's set up exactly that way, although we actually make products and we ship them from our location in Chicago, as well as using Printful to ship. Any questions on session 4? All right, great. All right, so session 5, the reason why we're using Printful, the second reason why is that Printful has already predetermined costs. They have predetermined markup ranges. They have shipping costs. All of that stuff is already kind of known. So you're going to be using that data to build out your business plan. And I'm going to show you in about a 45-minute or less segment how you can use the data from Printful to build out your financials. All right. The financial part is the hardest part of the business plan. Trust me, me and Renata, we just went through a cohort where we had to do this. And the financials are just crazy. But when you find out how easy it is with Live Plan, you're going to just shout. Trust me, you're going to shout and you're going to say hallelujah or whatever it is. No offense to people that don't say hallelujah. But so we're going to set up our business plan session that is going to focus not on writing your business plan. It's going to focus on developing your financials. All right. I'm not going to assist you with writing your plan, but I am going to assist you with setting up your financials. And then you have to write your plan. That's going to be part of your homework. All right. So we're going to use a 50% discount code if it's still valid. And we're going to use that. And so Live Plan in your first month is going to cost you, I think, about $10 if the 50% plan is valid. And so you're going to have like 35 days, I think, according to one of the other members of this cohort that me and Renata was in. I think you have up to 35 days to request a refund. So if you, if you don't like Live Plan, you don't use it anymore, you can say, hey, I'm done with it after 35 days. Our sessions will take place within a 35-day window. My entire course is designed to take place within a 4-week time frame. So I know you're thinking 6 sessions, you're thinking weekly. No, we're going to do up to 2 sessions a week because they're only between a half an hour and an hour. So I'm not going to stretch that out a week. All right, so we can do all 6 sessions, including this being number 1 session, within a 4-week time frame. And I intend to run these cohorts every 4 weeks. All right, so We're going to set the live plan up, create the cash flow, balance sheet, profit and loss, and the financial statements. And we're going to be using the costs from Printful.com. That's going to, you are going to be so relieved when you do this, because you're going to have all of your numbers to project your business plan out when you do this way. All right, any questions on that? Okay, none? All right, so session 6 is where we do the launch showcase. It's only 30 minutes. We're going to look at everybody's website. We're going to launch the website live. We're going to get a first order. So whatever your product is, okay? In Ranaté's case, she's selling shea butter. I buy a lot of that already. So I am going to order some product from her. So whatever she has set up in her store, I'm going to be the first customer. All right, not for bragging rights, but I just want you to see it's a difference when you have something set up and you're like, oh man, I'm waiting on that first sale. It's a whole different thing when you get that first sale. Because as soon as you get that first sale, cha-ching, and you get that email, Danté has bought some of my shea butter, then you're going to be thinking, oh man, you know what? I can make this work. This is possible. I actually got a real order. So your mindset is going to change after you get that first order. And then that's going to begin the journey. You're going to have some fun and you're going to make money. And that's our session 6. And that is what this cohort is about. Now, I left out a lot of meaty details, but you're going to get those in the link to the learning management system, which is the Learn Dash on the website. You'll get all of that other stuff that I left out inside of there. And so some of your questions will be answered in that. Homework assignments, and then all of the course stuff will be probably answering a lot of questions. You're probably wondering I didn't take all that on. There's no way I could do that in a half an hour. All right, that's essentially it. So I'm available for questions and answers. We went a little bit over. We're at 33 minutes, but I'm still available if you have some questions, Renata. Any questions so far? You're on mute.
Actually, I'm really clear. I think, like you said, as we go forth, I will get my answers. I have enough to ponder right now, so I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, good. So in the next few days, hopefully today's Saturday, by Monday evening, you should have a link from me, which will allow you to log into the website and join the learning management system, where you'll see all of the sessions outlined with all of the courses and the homework and everything that I mentioned here in more of an elaborate kind of bulleted presentation, step-by-step way. So if you didn't catch any of this and you like wondering, don't worry, I'm going to walk you through each of the steps and you'll be able to complete them at your own time. And then we'll go over all of that. Okay, so we're going to make sure that you get this, and it's important that you do the homework, because if you don't do the homework and you don't catch up, we're going to leave you behind, and that'll happen. Now, I've run these sessions before over a 12-week period of time, and I've run them several times. With Chicago Housing Authority Section 3 businesses and resident-owned businesses. So I ran these courses in person before the pandemic in 2017, 2018. So I know how these work, and I know when people kind of get stuck. I've seen it. I've seen how it happens. But we're not going to do a 4-week. We're not going to do a 12-week session. We're going to do a 4-week session, and everything is going to be condensed. But it's going to require that you do homework, and it's not to get a grade. It's to progress. So I'm not going to grade you on the homework. I'm not going to say you failed. I just need you to complete the steps in order for us to get from session 1, session 2, session 3, all the way to the launch. And that's it. That's all I have. So I want to.
Great presentation, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Really
No
nice.
questions? I'm good?
Nope.
Okay, great. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to thank Renata for being my, one person in this session. I know we had 3 people registered. 2 of them probably couldn't get in because of the way I set up the links for Eventbrite and Zoom. I'm going to fix that right after this, and I'm going to reschedule another session for within the next 2 weeks. I have to look at my calendar, but I'm going to set this up so this will be live in the next 2 weeks, and we will go from there. And then I will see you, Renata, in text, because we chat all the time. So I'll be chatting to you probably later today. All right. And thank you for attending. Let me get a quick screenshot of this.
Thanks you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm out, and you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.